Valentine's Day was our annual celebration of love, filled with flowers, sweet nothings, and laughter. My partner and I reveled in the enchanting atmosphere, creating memories each year. However, the romantic ambience took a chilling turn as mysterious love notes began appearing in our lives. It started innocently enough, with poetic verses expressing admiration for our relationship. The notes were left in inconspicuous places, anonymously delivered to our doorstep, slipped under the windshield wipers of our car, and even tucked inside the morning newspaper. At first, we dismissed them as harmless gestures from a secret admirer, perhaps a friend playing a light-hearted prank. But the tone of the notes shifted. They became increasingly personal, divulging intricate details of our daily routines and private moments. The admiration turned into a disconcerting obsession. The notes described scenes only my partner and I shared behind closed doors, moments we believed were known only to us. It was as if the author had been silently watching, studying us with an unsettling intensity. As Valentine's Day approached, the notes took a darker turn. They promised a surprise, an event that would surpass all expectations of romantic gestures. Anxiety gnawed at us, casting a shadow over what should have been a joyous celebration of love. We decided to spend the evening indoors, hoping to evade whatever ominous surprise awaited us. The night unfolded with an eerie calm. Candles flickered, casting dancing shadows across the room. The clock ticked away, each second amplifying the tension in the air. The atmosphere outside our home remained still, almost too quiet. Just when we thought we might have escaped the clutches of our unwanted admirer, a soft tap echoed through the silence. My heart raced as we approached the front door. A carefully wrapped package lay on the doorstep, adorned with a crimson bow. The accompanying note simply read, "Happy Valentine's Day, my love." Fear gripped us, but curiosity compelled us to open the package. Inside, we found a beautiful bouquet of blood-red roses, the kind we had always favored. A sense of dread washed over us, realizing that this admirer knew our preferences all too well. The card attached to the roses bore a single, cryptic sentence. "Even the most beautiful roses have thorns." The realization hit us like a cold gust of wind. Our private sanctuary had been breached, and the boundaries between safety and intrusion had blurred into an unsettling gray. The night wore on with an unshakable sense of unease. As we peeked through the curtains, a silhouette materialized outside our window. A shadowy figure stood in the darkness, holding the same bouquet of roses. Panic set in as we recognized the figure. It was no friend, no playful acquaintance. It was our unwanted admirer, revealing themselves at last. The figure's face remained concealed, hidden beneath the hood of a dark cloak. Their presence seemed to permeate the room with an oppressive energy. We watched in paralyzed horror as the figure raised a gloved hand and pressed it against the window, as if trying to look in. Desperation seized us, and we rushed to secure the doors and windows. The figure outside seemed to vanish, leaving behind only the chilling echo of a haunting laugh. The night wore on, our nerves on edge, unsure if our unwanted admirer had truly retreated or if they lingered in the shadows, patiently awaiting another opportunity to intrude upon our lives. This Valentine's Day, once a celebration of love, had transformed into a night of fear. The roses, once symbols of affection, now stood as ominous tokens of an obsession that refused to be ignored. We spent the restless hours of the night contemplating the unsettling reality that our love story had taken an unexpected and haunting turn, one that blurred the lines between romance and terror. The antique mirror stood in the corner of my dimly lit living room, a relic from a bygone era with an ornate frame and an air of mystery. I had acquired it from an old estate sale just before Valentine's Day, the seller warning me of an ancient curse associated with it. Legend had it that if you gazed into the mirror at the stroke of midnight on February 14th, it would reveal your true love. Skeptical but intrigued, I decided to test the legend, thinking it could add a touch of romance to an otherwise ordinary Valentine's Day. As the night unfolded, the anticipation grew within me. My partner, unaware of the mirror's eerie reputation, laughed off the idea of a cursed antique. Little did we know that our seemingly mundane Valentine's celebration was about to take a sinister turn. The clock struck midnight, and I stood before the mirror, the air thick with suspense. I stared into the reflective surface, half expecting to see nothing but my own tired eyes. But as the seconds ticked away, the room seemed to shift. The reflection in the mirror warped, and a distorted image appeared, a ghastly, malevolent version of my partner. The figure in the mirror wore a twisted smile, eyes gleaming with an unsettling intensity. I stumbled back, my heart racing. This was not the romantic revelation I had hoped for. The distorted reflection seemed to mock the love we once shared, revealing the darkest, hidden aspects of our relationship. As I continued to gaze into the mirror, the scene unfolding before me became increasingly disturbing. I saw moments of past arguments and resentments, magnified and twisted into grotesque versions of reality. It was as though the mirror had become a window into the darker corners of our shared history, laying bare the unresolved issues beneath the surface. In the reflection, my partner's image grew more sinister with each passing moment. The distorted figure pointed accusatory fingers at me, as if blaming me for the unraveling of our relationship. The air in the room felt charged with negative energy, and a sense of foreboding hung heavy. Desperation and fear clawed at me, urging me to look away, to break the connection with the malevolent apparition in the mirror. But an unseen force seemed to hold me captive, compelling me to witness the unraveling of our love in this twisted spectacle. As the minutes dragged on, the distorted figure in the mirror began to move independently, its movements mocking and grotesque. It reached out towards me, its cold, ethereal fingers brushing against the glass. I recoiled, but the mirror seemed to draw me closer, as if it sought to pull me into its nightmarish realm. A whisper filled the room, chilling and spectral. It spoke of regrets and resentments, of love turned toxic. The mirror had become a vessel for the ghosts of our shared history, and their anguished voices echoed in the darkness. In a moment of sheer terror, I tore my gaze away from the mirror. The room, once filled with the unsettling presence, returned to an eerie stillness. My partner, unaware of the haunting spectacle that had unfolded, looked at me with concern. I tried to dismiss the experience as a trick of the imagination, a product of an overactive mind influenced by the ominous tales surrounding the mirror. Yet, the unease lingered, and an invisible rift seemed to widen between us. The days that followed were marked by an unsettling tension. The mirror, now a looming presence in our home, cast a shadow over our attempts at normalcy. I couldn't shake the feeling that something had been awakened, a force that fed on the vulnerabilities within our relationship. As Valentine's Day faded into memory, the mirror became a constant source of dread. Its reflection seemed to hold a distorted version of our reality, one that threatened to consume the love we had once shared. Nights were spent tossing and turning, haunted by the figure that lingered in the shadows of my dreams. In a desperate attempt to break free from the oppressive atmosphere, I decided to rid our home of the cursed mirror. With trembling hands, I wrapped it in protective cloth, determined to seal away the force that had infiltrated our lives. But as I carried the mirror towards the door, an otherworldly voice echoed in my mind, a haunting whisper that seemed to seep from the very core of the antique. It warned of consequences, of a bond forged between the mirror and our shared history. The decision to part with the cursed relic came at a price, it seemed. I hesitated, torn between the desire to be free of the mirror's influence and the fear of what might unfold if I abandoned it. In the end, the weight of fear prevailed, and I placed the mirror in a dark corner of the attic, hidden away but never truly forgotten. Days turned into weeks, and the mirror faded from our immediate thoughts. Yet, a subtle unease persisted, an undercurrent of tension that colored every interaction. In the weeks that followed, my partner and I embarked on a journey of healing. We confronted the unresolved issues that the mirror had laid bare, working together to rebuild the love that had been tainted by the shadows of our past. The attic, once a chamber of haunting memories, became a space of reflection and renewal. The cursed mirror remained in the attic as a reminder of the dangers that lurked within the recesses of our shared history. We chose to embrace the lessons learned from our encounter with the supernatural. In the heart of the city, nestled among the quaint streets, stood a florist shop. Intricate wrought iron gates guarded its entrance, and a sign above read, "Blooms of Destiny." Drawn to its mysterious allure, I ventured inside, the scent of flowers enveloping me like a delicate embrace. The shopkeeper, a stooped figure with eyes that seemed to hold ancient secrets, greeted me with a knowing smile. "Ah, you've come to the right place," she whispered, her voice a soft melody. Her gnarled hands expertly arranged an exquisite bouquet labeled, "The Lover's Embrace." Its petals, a blend of deep reds and midnight purples, seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Entranced by the bouquet's dark allure, I purchased it as a token of affection for my partner on Valentine's Day. The shopkeeper's eyes gleamed with an unsettling knowledge as she handed me the bouquet, a silent warning veiled in her gaze. As the night unfolded, the air shimmered with an intoxicating aroma, and the flowers' vibrant hues deepened. Candles flickered in the dimly lit room, casting dancing shadows that seemed to echo the pulse of an ancient heartbeat. I presented the bouquet to my partner, who was equally captivated by its mysterious beauty. The first petals began to wilt as the clock struck midnight. A haunting voice, carried by the now chill breeze, murmured of love's transience, and the price paid for meddling with forces beyond understanding. The once vibrant blooms transformed into ghostly hands that reached for us, their touch a spectral caress that chilled to the bone. The room warped into a surreal dreamscape, and the boundaries between reality and the supernatural blurred. The ghostly figures of ill-fated lovers materialized, their tragic tales woven into the fabric of the cursed bouquet. We were ensnared in a macabre dance, a haunting reminder that even the most beautiful love stories could harbor dark consequences. The first apparition, a woman with eyes brimming with sorrow, spoke of a love forged in the shadows of deceit. The cursed bouquet had been a silent witness to her heartbreak, its petals retaining the echoes of her tearful goodbyes. As she faded into the ethereal mist, her words lingered, a cautionary tale of the bouquet's malevolent magic. Next appeared a man, his love lost to the ravages of time. The cursed blooms had ensnared him in an eternal loop of longing, each petal a reminder of a love that slipped through his fingers. The ghostly hands of the bouquet clutched at him, pulling him into an abyss of eternal heartache. As the night wore on, more spectral figures materialized, each one a victim of the cursed blooms. Their voices intertwined in a haunting chorus, their tales of love and loss weaving a tapestry of despair. The air thickened with the weight of their collective agony, and the room pulsed with a spectral energy that transcended the bounds of the living. My partner and I, trapped in the haunting dance, felt the tendrils of the cursed bouquet's magic wrap around us. The ghostly hands grew more insistent, pulling us into the heart of the spectral congregation. The air crackled with an otherworldly power as the room seemed to expand into an endless expanse of shadows. Desperation clawed at my chest as I realized the gravity of our situation. The cursed bouquet, a vessel for the tormented spirits of ill-fated lovers, sought to bind us to their tragic fate. I cast a frantic glance at my partner, whose eyes mirrored the same mixture of fear and realization. A phantom couple, their love story the most tragic of all, emerged from the shadows. Their entwined hands reached out, offering an ominous prophecy of our future. The bouquet's spectral hands tightened their grip, and the ghostly figures circled us in a haunting dance that mirrored their own doomed romance. As the clock struck the final hour of Valentine's night, a surge of spectral energy engulfed us. The ghostly couple whispered a farewell, their voices a mournful lament that echoed through the abyss. The room convulsed with an otherworldly force, and the apparitions dissolved into the shadows, leaving us alone in the cold silence. The cursed bouquet lay on the floor, its petals now lifeless and drained of color. The once vibrant blooms had become a withered relic, a testament to the haunting tales of love and loss it harbored. The room, now devoid of the spectral energy, returned to its normal state, the scent of decay lingering in the air. My partner and I, shaken by the harrowing ordeal, exchanged a silent gaze. The curse of the bouquet had woven its dark magic around us, leaving an indelible mark on our hearts. As we left the florist's shop, the wrought iron gates creaked closed behind us, sealing away the secrets of Blooms of Destiny. until the next unsuspecting seeker dared to meddle with the supernatural forces hidden within its petals.